Let's learn something really quick.
If you got the time, absolutely. And you got the discipline, there's no question about it.
I love that. Yeah, that's a great practice to put into your everyday life, you guys.
You generally regret the things you don't do, not the things you did do. Let me say it that way.
Mic drop. This was just awesome. I love meeting my guests in person, and it's a whole nother animal, and the energy is just electric. You guys, this is your host, Deanna Radulescu with Label Free Podcast. To live your best life, you must live label free. What is good, everyone? This is your host, Deanna Radulescu with Label Free. To live your best life, you must live label free. And I'm back with our resident relationship wizard. If you are just tuning in, let me remind you at how amazing our resident relationship wizard is, RRW. He has 25 years in family and marriage counseling. He has worked with top actors, pro athletes, Academy Award winners, Pulitzer Prize winner, you name it, multimillionaires. He has worked with them all. Please welcome our RRW back to the show. Fred, welcome back.
Thank you, Deanna. I'm really happy to be here.
I'm happy to have you here. So even though I'm starting off with all this energy and all this positivity, today's episode, we're going to start talking about something a little bit more serious, something that's near and dear to my heart and something that's near and dear to your heart. But it is just a caution, you guys. This is not going to be an easy episode because we're going to talk about some real heavy things. As most of you know, or if you don't know, I'm a survivor of human trafficking myself. Have not had the best start in life, but I've made the best of it, and I've overcome a lot of those things, almost all. I mean, I'm not perfect, but close to it. So we are going to talk about empowering people that have been traumatized, abused, or demeaned. And I'm sure in your line of work for the 25 years you've been in practice, you've probably seen a lot.
Absolutely.
And this is a hard subject because when you're talking about someone that has experienced human trafficking, traumatized, like this is a very twisted, dark animal to work with.
It is.
Yeah. So when someone comes into your office or in your experience and they've had some of this past trauma, how do you get them to start, I don't know, maybe start talking about it in a way that they can start healing from it?
Well, there's two different levels I help them on. I help them to release the trauma without reliving it. And then I help them to learn how to be re-empowered in a way they've never felt empowered before.
How do they release the trauma without reliving it? I feel like that's kind of that would be very difficult.
Well, I would say that's something I really thought about covering that on the air, but I don't want to do that part on the air because it will run the risk that somebody's going to still re-traumatize themselves.
Okay.
Something one-to-one.
Yeah. Okay.
And the best recommendation is find somebody that's both a licensed psychotherapist and a master in NLP, master NLP practitioner.
Yeah. I've talked about this on other previous episodes, but just really quick, just remind the audience what NLP means.
NLP stands for Neuro Linguistic Programming. It's for people who've gone through trauma or abuse. It's a really effective way to release it without reliving it.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I've talked to a lot of people, like a lot of guests that have had the skill set and they have that as a tool in their tool belt. And there's a lot of different modalities out there now that can help people heal from trauma. And NLP is just one of the powerful tools that can be. Yeah. So as you're walking them through your process, right, and helping them to release it, how do they release it? Can we talk about that without triggering someone? I mean, we have to. We got to be able to talk about a little bit of it.
Yeah. Well, that with the right skills, you can be part of your past.
Okay.
Is it with the right help, you're no longer limited or bound by your past?
Yeah. Yeah.
No. What we'd love to talk about today is how to be empowered.
Okay.
Because that's part of the healing.
Yeah.
So releasing the trauma is part of it.
Right.
The rest of it, that I'd love to go into detail, is how to be re-empowered.
Let's do it. So I can speak for myself that it is possible to release it and to move past it and to feel actually you can use it to, for me, I did empower myself. So I want to hear how you work with your clients on how to empower themselves.
Okay. So one of the things I can give you lots of things. So one of them is to be able to know what you want. So I'll give you a concrete way to do that.
Okay. Because a lot of people don't know what they want.
No, they really don't.
They don't.
You can't ask for and negotiate for what you're not aware that you want.
Yeah.
So a safe way to do that is in writing, for eyes only.
Yeah.
The skill is called outcome planning. You start off with a sentence, beyond what I think is realistic, what do I really want? And the reason we're wording it that way,
Okay.
when you're working on something, you don't know in the moment what's objective reality and what's not.
Yeah.
So many times I've helped people to set goals they thought were impossible to reach and give them the skills to reach it.
Yeah. I love
So
that.
starting off with that bigger vision.
Right. Okay.
Then the next step, really, really short step, don't get lost in the second step, is where am I right now?
Where am I right now? Okay. I like that.
In other words, what's my mindset? What's my self-image? What's my thinking right now about this goal specifically?
Yeah.
Step 3 is your bridge.
Okay.
One end of the bridge is where you are right now. The other end of the bridge is where you want to be. And then we're building the bridge from where you are to where you want to be.
I love it. Yeah.
And that bridge consists of your plans and your backup plans. And you always want to have some backup plans completely within your control,
Okay.
the healing process.
Interesting. I've never heard of that before. Okay. Can you give me an example or give us an example of, all right, so let's say I'm empowering myself and my goal is to get certified in something to make myself better, to feel more powerful or feel more accomplished, right? And I'm here and I have not taken that step to make that happen, right? Because I'm scared, right?
Yeah.
This, for example. And so what would my backup plan be for something like that? So I'm at this side of the bridge, and on this side of the bridge, I'm certified in teaching swimming lessons or something. It's going to empower me to move forward in being self-sufficient. In that vein of things, what would be a good backup plan? You help talk your clients through this?
Absolutely. So one of the magic pieces, which is you pick something specific.
Yes.
You want to go for something specific to feel better, to be able to feel good about taking swimming lessons. Go with that example.
Okay.
Then you can work with that. So let's say a person was afraid about swimming,
Right.
afraid if they got in the pool, they would drown. So then maybe and that was their present state. Swimming lessons would be kind of part of the plan.
Sure.
Maybe the goal is to be a really confident, relaxed swimmer.
Okay, I like that. This is good.
Okay. So then we would look at, well, what are some possibilities? Well, so you can go online, definitely have to do that in person. Or I would recommend do that in person with somebody. You can see a YouTube video about it. Go to a swimming instructor. So I would come up with your questions of what you want to ask them, and then have something to take notes with, note open on your phone. And then you want to look for different levels. Like one level is, what's your expertise with people who are afraid of swimming?
Yeah.
And second of all, how does it feel to talk to that person? They feel supportive.
Right.
Are they harsh? Are they mean? You want somebody you feel really emotionally safe with.
Yeah. Okay.
Being a great instructor is not enough.
Right. Okay. I like that. Okay. Very good. That's a great example. Okay. So continue. We gotta set the stage for people that they have
Yeah.
they can walk away with something tangible, right?
Sure,
So
always.
we're going to tell them we want to help empower them, whatever that might be. So this is what that looks like. This is kind of like a roadmap.
Right. And empowerment is a cumulative process.
Okay.
Every time you make an outcome plan and act on it, you're empowering yourself.
Yeah.
And you're shifting your self-image. You're creating or building that self-image, being confident, competent, effective, powerful, in positive control of your life.
Yeah. I love all those things. Let's go.
Great. Okay. So there's 3 criteria for a well-formed goal.
Okay.
First criteria is it is specific. Second criteria, is it stated in positive language? And third criteria is that can be initiated and maintained by you.
Okay.
Explain that last one.
Okay.
A lot of people have goals, they're not within their control.
Right. Okay.
So if their goal, for example, is their child always does their homework, well, you can't make your child, you can't do their work for them.
Right. Yeah.
But if your goal is to do your best to inspire, motivate, and support your child to do their homework consistently, that's well formed.
Yeah.
That part's
Right.
within control.
Right. Right. Yeah, that makes sense. So, I mean, you can't force somebody else to do something. So all you can do is try to motivate and set the tone for them to get things done that you want them to do.
Yeah, really important, really vital distinction.
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
Okay.
So ask me more questions about that, because I can go into, I've done this. Well, let me give you another piece about this while you're thinking about that.
Okay.
You can do outcome plans for everything. I do outcome plans for everything in my life.
You do?
I do.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So and once you have an outcome plan that works for a given pattern of experience, you can reuse it again and again. It takes really minimal time.
So can you give us an example of like what one of your outcome plans is that you put together if you do it for everything?
Yeah. So one of my outcome plans, I'm committed to do an hour of cardio 6 days a week.
Okay.
Beach in Santa Monica, and so close to there.
Yeah. Love it. Beautiful beach.
Yes. So that's my concrete goal.
Okay.
Okay. There's another part to what do you really want. The second part to what you really want is what are your standards?
Ooh, okay.
What is the experience one have in the process of achieving that goal?
Okay.
So my standards for that goal is that I want to be physically comfortable, like to wear the right clothes.
Right.
And I want to be physically safe, and that I want to really have maximum fun.
I like that. Okay. Those are your standards for that goal. Okay.
Yes.
Beautiful.
And so, it maybe took me 15 minutes to create that the first time. Then I just tweaked it.
Sure. Yeah, you can apply that to many different things like reading a book, learning a new skill. I mean, yeah, so you can, if these are your goals, then you can set the standards for how you're going to reach that goal. So
Sure.
Are you running on the beach 6 days a week now?
Doing cardio on the beach 6 days a week.
Doing cardio on the beach. Well, running, cardio, That's awesome. So how long ago did you make that goal? And how long?
Years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've been doing this for years.
And so this process allows someone to actually kind of allows them to be accountable to themselves.
That's right. Perfect words, accountable to themselves.
Yeah.
You're going to be answerable to yourself.
Right. Yeah.
So let me give you another piece, because that opens up to like a new area.
Okay.
So most people have a double standard.
Yeah.
And the double standard is they're more likely to be consistent making and keeping agreements with others, but not making and keeping agreements with themselves.
Yeah.
Part of being self-empowered is to break the double standard, is to be as consistent in making and keeping agreements with yourself as you are with others.
Why do you think that is? That just makes me think, like, why is it easier for people to keep agreements with others and not themselves? That's a very interesting.
Yeah, mostly upbringing, modeling from our parents.
Yeah.
Whatever person raised us. Yeah, so it starts from.
Or it's like it's their scapegoat.
Yeah.
I think that if someone has a goal, for instance, like a physical goal, it's easier to say, oh, I have plans with XYZ, instead of actually following through with their goal for themselves and going like it's an excuse or a pass for them not to show up for themselves.
Right. Excuse, and it's also like their habit.
Yeah.
People habitually don't make and keep agreements with themselves.
Yeah. There's a whole lot we can unpack here with the empowerment piece, because this is like a fraction
It is a
of of how someone can apply different things in their lives to empower themselves. So like for me, you say you years ago you made this goal and you make it happen 6 days a week. So for me, if I don't show up for myself, I do not feel good about myself. Like, it's like, okay, I set a goal every day. I want to do X, Y, Z. I have a to-do list. And if I don't at least complete a majority of my to-do list because I was either lazy or I was procrastinating or I was just making excuses, like, I feel less than. And so I don't want to feel like that. So I always make it a point to always show up for myself first.
Okay, so can I give you something for that?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Here's a statement I want to give to all of you.
Okay.
I am perfectly all right just the way that I am.
Okay.
And I can improve myself as much as I choose to.
I like it.
Because we want you to really honor your agreements with yourself and not to feel less than when you don't.
Yeah. Yeah. But see, for me, it's a way of keeping myself disciplined. So not necessarily that I don't love myself and accept myself for who I am. And this is for anyone that's watching this, listening, these are just examples so that if you are at a point in your life where you're trying to overcome something or feel empowered, and these are baby steps on how you can get to the next phase of releasing, repairing, overcoming, whatever it might be. So for me, like, I like to be disciplined. And so I think human nature is we can make a million excuses and we can procrastinate, we can be lazy. And so when I show up, even when I'm lazy or tired or don't want to do it, it's a way I'm exercising that discipline muscle, which allows me to exercise discipline in other areas of my life, which allows me to continue to, and this is for me, I'm saying specifically for me, catapult me into like more like another level of excellence, because I always want to show up being the best version of myself I possibly can. And so that's why I say that. Not that I don't accept myself the way that I am,
right.
But I have specific goals in my life that I want to achieve, and I'm only going to achieve those things if I stay disciplined and stay focused and stay on task.
Perfect. So you've created a system that works for you.
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, so
there are guidelines and rules. If you have something that works for you, keep doing it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that totally works for you.
Okay, so you just made that statement that we accept ourselves as we are, right? And then, as they're just doing baby steps and trying to apply some of these things that we're talking about, what would be next for them?
Well, you just want to get in the habit of when you make agreements with yourself, make them further out than any other agreements with anybody else for anything.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, so when somebody's asking something of you, you check however you track things like your calendar, and you go, okay, I can't do it that time because I have another commitment. You don't tell them what it is.
Yeah.
And this is your commitment to yourself.
Right. Yeah.
So for example, that I'm flexible when I can do cardio, but it doesn't get bumped from the day.
It doesn't what?
Doesn't get bumped from the day.
Yeah. Okay.
I might move the time for that day, but not from the day.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I totally agree with that. Like, your schedule is your schedule, so you just make it work how you need to make it work. Like if something, because there's things that are going to be more of a priority than others, right? And so, but you are a priority for yourself regardless. And if it's important to you, you'll make it happen.
Correct. And also you need to be honest about your patterns. I first committed to be consistent with cardio. I knew myself. I knew if I didn't do it when I first woke up, I wasn't going to do it. So that's when I did it. Okay. And after some time of doing that, I thought, well, if I do it before 10 o'clock in the morning and get myself to do it.
Yeah.
That worked.
Okay.
At that point, I realized after doing that for quite some time, I realized I could do it any waking time, and I could do it morning, noon, or night.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, once it becomes like a habit for you, it's easier to get it done regardless of the time. Yeah, I love that. And
Sure.
so when someone consistently shows up like that, right? If they've set this goal and they've created their standards, how soon or how long does it take of doing that will they start to feel empowered?
Really good question. So if you go into a house that's been boarded up for 100 years,
Okay.
the light is shown through. You walk in there with a flashlight, with the light on your phone, you get light instantly.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the one.
So instantly.
Instantly.
I love that. Well, yes, I would agree, but I just wanted to ask that because it's
No, it's a good question.
they're thinking like, oh, I can't do it because I'm not going to feel good right away. But no, you actually do.
Yeah.
That's like you do, like just showing up, like even if you don't make it the full hour, right? Like you first starting, you show up at least 10-15 minutes. You're like, it feels good. Then the next time you do 30 minutes. So the next time after that, you do 45 minutes. And then you eventually get to the hour because you are empowering yourself day in and day out, just showing up and starting to work on the goal.
Great point. Right on.
Whatever the goal might be, because we're talking about exercise. It could be other things, right?
Yeah, of course.
What else would you like to add to in empowerment for today?
So it's really important to do your outcome planning writing,
Okay.
and to do it in a form where you can keep it in.
Okay.
Big believer in doing things digitally, because when you do things in handwriting, which a lot of people still love doing, you just have to be able to find it.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. I still like writing. So, I mean, I do things digitally, but I still like writing. Maybe that tells you how old I am.
Well, and if you do things in writing, because most of my clients prefer to do things in handwriting.
Okay.
Whatever age they are.
Sure.
If you do it in handwriting, then take pictures of it on your phone.
Okay. And why is that?
Because we always have our phones with us.
That's true. But for them to go back and read it,
read it? Yeah, reread it, and then you want to, if you get new learnings, then you want to tweak it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So I had a really unexpected experience. So I used to love to do cardio barefoot at the beach year round.
Oh, I love that.
And then one year I had a really weird sensation in my toes.
Uh-oh.
My doctor, he said, "You've got chilblains."
The heck is that?
I never heard of that. He said, "Well, it's the Southern California version of frostbite."
What?
That he said, even though you've got the discipline, your toes can't handle the cold weather in Southern California at the beach in the winter.
Oh, wow.
Wear sneaks, wear something. Keep your feet warm.
Oh my goodness.
That was a modification of my outcome plan.
That would be terrible. I mean, you wouldn't be able to handle it here in Chicago. All right. With that being said, Fred, what do our listeners need to do to take the next step with you?
Deanna, it's really easy. The first step with me, as with all the people I've helped, is to have a chat with me. And the way to book that is to go to bookwithfredt.com. And that will let you schedule a time to talk to me. So if you're struggling with infidelity or broken trust or incessant fighting and arguing or being disrespected or being verbally abused, this making you really unhappy in your relationship or making you consider breaking up, then give me a call. I can help you. And that first step is to have that chat together.
If you're struggling in your relationship, take that next step with Fred and get that call in with him. Just like Wendy, who said she found Fred after having one unsuccessful relationship after another. She's happy to say she attracted a fantastic relationship. What she learned from Fred was invaluable. She says, I learned how to respect myself and set healthy boundaries. She finally has a reciprocal relationship with a person who adores her as much as she adores them. Thank you, Fred, for all that you taught me. Without it, she would not be where she is.
Yep, make that call. All those thousands of clients I've helped over the years, all have one thing in common. They started with that first chat with me. Go to bookwithfredt.com.
Yes, you are definitely here to help the people save their relationships and give them the tools that they need to make sure that they can turn that unsuccessful situation into a successful one. So Fred, we appreciate you. Thank you so much. You guys don't hesitate to go book that call with Fred. He's willing to help. Take advantage of the free call and see where it can take you. You never know. It can't hurt. With that being said, you guys, we'll see you next week, every Monday, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.